You guys remember the other day when Com to Us dropped that teaser where they had the two and the two and the fists and everything, and I was like, guys, I am 95% certain this is 2v2 RTA, because we saw it in Chronicles, and we saw that they mentioned that they were doing 2v2 PvP in Chronicles, and I was like, someone from the Sky Arena team looked at the Chronicles doing 2v2 RTA, they're like, let's do RTA as well, 2v2, yeah, this is a great idea. So guys, we are getting 2v2 RTA in Summoners War Sky Arena. How psyched are you? I know you're so very excited. So we were all right. Congratulations, guys. Congratulations on being right that it was 2v2 RTA. Let's take a look at all of the things. I actually already took a little recap. It's basically, I already took a look ahead of time, so I already know a little bit what's going on. It's basically like R5, you know how R5 is now solo? Well, now that R5 is solo, you have to 2v2 and team up in RTA. It's not going to be ranked at first. It's going to be just like a test mode, because I foresee this being an absolute nightmare at first. I mean, they must have tested it to some extent, but I see this being a nightmare. I mean, it'll be interesting. It's new content. New content is always good, but this is this is not what 90% of the community wanted. Is let's force other people to do RTA. What there's like, people aren't doing RTA enough. Let's make them force each other to do RTA. Oh my god. So what game are we going to play next? Now that we're quitting Summoners War, what game are we going to play next? Is the question. I have no words. But basically, like, you have like a chat in between the two of you, and again, like I said, is not ranked at first, just like regular RTA wasn't ranked at first, where it was just like, well, I mean, it was kind of ranked anyway, but it wasn't like official. It wasn't official with like prizes and things like that at the end of weeks and whatever. Greetings from the Summoners War dev team, blah blah. This is going to be in 6.4, not going to be in 7, which I'm not even sure when 7 is going to happen. Apparently, here's some news on Summoners War Update 7, is COVID really set them back. So Chronicles is... they wanted to release Chronicles before the end of the year. It's going to be in 2022 now, and I don't know when Update 7 is actually going to come out. I hope that didn't set the bounce patch stuff back. They're like, it set everything. Bounce patch stuff should not be set back. It should be. Anyway, we'll get to that. That's for a different time. But it's not going to be an Update 7. It's going to be Update 6.4. Introduce this new mode via the next Update 6.4. 2v2 team battle. So, by the way, I know a lot of you guys are already going to be questioning how AoEs work. AoEs are not going to affect all. It's basically just 3 of your team, 3 of your allies' team, 3 of one enemy, and 3 of another enemy. So if you do AoEs, you have to choose which of the enemy team is getting the AoE, instead of just doing an AoE and all 6 of the enemies actually do it. But there's going to be 4 bans. There's going to be bans on your side. Well, we'll take a look at that in a second. 2v2 team battle, new battle mode where you can team up with your other summoner to play in the world of... Why can't I read? 2 summoners will team up to fight against another team of 2 summoners, having 4 summoners in total. Blah, blah, blah. We already basically talked about a lot of this. I don't know why I'm even talking about, like, gonna read this thing. 2v2 battle team details. So we go to 2v2 battle right there. And then you will notice the new icon added next to the Special League icon. The 2v2 team battle will be added to World Arena lobby screen as above. You can enter by tapping this icon. 2 functions, quick battle and invite. You can team up with another random summoner from the same server via quick battle. So same server, so it can't be like someone on Europe server or on Asian server or whatever. So you can't like team up with... Because it could be interesting if you're like, I'm going to team up with my alt account. I'm going to play both accounts, and then this way... you actually still could team up with another of your account as long as it's on the same server. So if you have an alt account on the same server, you don't have to play with anyone. You could just play with yourself. Anyway, moving on. What else? Random summoner the same one, or friend or guild member via invite function. This screen shows a summoner waiting for team member to join. You can check the summoner battle record and the information of the deck that was recently used via 2v2 battle, and the matchmaking will begin when both team members are tap the ready. But this just seems like a nightmare. It feels like it's gonna be a nightmare cluster F-bomb. It just does not seem like it's gonna be. It seems like it's gonna be a mess. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I feel it in my bones. There will be a chat system for your team's communication. You'll be able to discuss other preferences for monsters and decks. Talk about the battle preparation. Okay, so we see an UI for the monster selection. We see two. Everyone's Korean. We see 2 on the left-hand side, 2 on the right-hand side. So 2 on your team, 2 on their team. We see the picks. We see the bans. We'll get into because they have information on what gets picked in what order. So we'll go. As you can see, 2 players form 1 team each, and each summoner will use 3 monsters in a battle. Summoners will pick 4 monsters first, and 1 monster will get banned, having a total of 3 monsters left on their deck. The ban and pick process will be slightly different in 2v2 team battle, with details on the following. When the first player is decided, players will pick 4 monsters each in order, having 16 monsters picked in total. The monster pick will proceed as follows. So we see player A picks 1, then player C on the opponent's side picks another one, and then we see player B on the first team side picks 2 then, and then player D on the opponent's side picks 2, and then we go back to the first player picks 2, and then the opponent's player C picks 2, and then player B on your team picks another 2, and then the enemy, player D, picks another 2, and then the last picks are the first player on each team as well. Right? So now that I've probably made that even more complicated and confusing, ban monsters continue with the table given above. So player A will ban monster of player C, player B will ban a monster of player D, team 2 will also ban 1 monster of the player that in front of them. So it's just the opposite, basically. After banning monsters, each summoner will be left to 3 monsters. Select leader. Excuse me, I guess. Each summoner will select a leader among the monsters they have. The allies' leader skill effects will be shared with the team member, just like in Rift Raid. How I said it was kind of similar to Rift Raids. However, if 2 summoners pick the leader skill that increases the same stats, only the leader skill with greater value will be applied, just like in Raids. Example of Light Ninja increases attack speed of light monster by 30, and Fire Pioneer increases the attack speed of ally monsters by 24. Are selected as leader monsters, all ally light monsters will have their attack speed increased by 30, and ally monsters of the other attributes will have their attack speed increased by 24. Which could be potentially pretty stanky in terms of speed tuning if you do the element-based ones. So, could change the speed tuning of your things. You and your team member will need to build a strategy continuously from monster picks to leader skills, teamwork will play. Here's the thing, if you team up with random people, you have to team up with your guildmates. Otherwise, if you team up with random people, how do you know what their strategy is, what they're going to pick, what they're going to ban, what they're going to do, anything? You have to team up with guildmates or friends or literally your alt account. This is going to be just people that have multiple accounts are going to do really well here. Unfortunately, all my accounts are on different servers, so I can't even do that myself. I would have to literally... Time for a new account, guys. Time for a new account. What gimmick should we have for this one? Ally formation. This just seems like a nightmare. It seems like a mess. It seems like they've lost their way and they're like, let's put something. Let's do something. I mean, something is better than nothing, but I don't know, man. You can't team up with randoms here. It's going to be... It's going to be too much of a nightmare trying to, like, collaborate. Because as we've seen in raids, like, if you try to team up with randoms in raids, it's not as effective as if you try to team up with your guildmates in raids. So this is going to be you need to fight with your guildmates and friends on your team, or else you are going to lose. Unless you get teamed up, like, magically with, like, how to play. And then you're like, oh, I don't have to do anything. Nice. Great. Yeah, I'll pick some of my LD5s, too. I don't have LD5. I'll pick some 3-stars and get carried by how to play. So, yeah. So, also, I think I already mentioned this, that, like, AoE effects are only going to affect one of the ally teams, or one of the enemy teams. So you can see the layout of your teams versus, or your team and your allies team versus the 2 enemy teams. They also mentioned like something like Praha, where she has her skill 3, which is going to sleep the enemies, is going to just sleep the enemies in like the 3 in front of her. So if Praha uses her skill 3 in this match, it's going to sleep Kamoon, Odin, and Bastet. It's not going to sleep the Rakuni and Molong and Eladriel. So Just FYI, so you guys know, because players. So as you can see, the ally formation, the enemy formation are divided. The monsters of each player are placed for battle. At this time, the monsters of the enemy player who is on the opposite side during the pick and ban phase will also be placed on the opposite on the battlefield. Because player C was located opposite of player A in the pick and ban, player C's monsters such as Fire Anubis, Wind Lightning Emperor, Water Desert Queen will be located on the opposite side of player A on the battlefield. Now the battle begins. It's just I mean like, oh, it's actually showing it here. Perfect. They mentioned it in something else, but yeah, now it shows here. So I don't think we really need to see all of this stuff. I basically just give you guys the gist of it. So yeah, it's gonna be a nightmare. It's gonna be a giant mess for quite a while, and then we'll see. I mean, it's gonna make for some interesting content, I suppose, but yeah, that's 2v2 RTA. 2v2 RTA is coming. I don't think this is what people wanted, but but it's here. So anyway, yeah, I just opted for not reading the entire thing and just giving you guys like a brief recap of it. You guys, I think, get the idea. It's basically like you got to do this with your friend. It's RTA plus raids. That's it. And you got to do it with your friend, otherwise you're gonna lose. If you like team up with a random person. But anyway, just like in raids, just like in R5, right? Especially at the beginning. So anyway, that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. I will see you as always in the next one.